Hey there, it's Mandy from Designer Chameleon, and today we are going to talk about and start working on getting our planners ready for 2026. So I don't know about you, but for me, whenever I have a new planner or a new process, I have that sort of analysis paralysis, and I have that moment of, I don't want to start immediately with my pen because I don't want to mess it up. So one of the things that I have found works really, really well to help me overcome that and get things prepared to be used in a way that makes me feel good about it and calm about it, if you will, is these little Post-it notes. Let me show you the process. So hopefully you had a chance to take a look at my lineup video. If not, I'll try and make a little card or whatever for it so you can watch it. But this is part of my lineup for 2026. This is a Happy Planner teacher layout classic size, which is a lot of words. So what I like to start to do is start with the things that are no-brainers. For me, a no-brainer was knowing when I purchased this planner kind of exactly what I wanted to use this section for. So I'll be tracking my meals, which for me, I'm not really a breakfast person, our lunch and dinner. Then snacks, that's anything that I don't eat during lunch and dinner, at least the way that I track it. My exercise, and then statistics. This will be things like how many steps I had, or how many calories I ate, stuff like that, that just kind of gives you the summary for the day. And then across the top, I'll be putting the 7 days of the week. So for the main layouts in this planner, that was easy. That was a no-brainer for me. However, there are other pages in here that I'm not so sure about. So for instance, this monthly calendar, I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I really haven't decided. But because it's something that I can use and that I can ponder, I put a little tab up here. And then when I decide, if I decide to use it, I'll write on that tab what it's for. Same thing for this priorities, important, take note page, whatever you want to call it. And these perpetual calendars, I'm thinking using for like a symptom tracker, but we'll see. So for this particular planner, it's pretty simple for me at least, and pretty straightforward. But what if it's not? So let's take a look at another one. So this is a daily planner that I ordered and customized with plum paper. So if you open it up to one of the daily spreads, there are lots of options, and I purposefully ordered this one without any categories on the sections because I wanted the opportunity to switch it up if things aren't working for me. But there are a lot of things I know I want in my daily planner. One of the things I'm doing in 2026 is a word of the day. So I create a little tab for word of the day. I want an area where I track my home focus and my business focus, just those big things any given day that I want to make sure are done either for my house, my family, or for Designer Chameleon, my sticker shop, my Patreon. This can also be things like social media for me. The schedule, that's kind of an easy one. We'll just go ahead and stick that down. I'd like to use a daily affirmation or a daily quote to inspire me. I think that would be nice to write in. And I also need a task list. So these are the things I know I need, and I have a lot of options for where they can go. So I just play around with placing things where I think I want them. So this makes sense for my task list. I've got a home focus and a business focus. So I could either put them here and here, or I could put them here and here. But because I think that these will be shorter items, like it might say closet, or it might say that I need to get things ready to ship for Patreon, whatever those things might be, it's going to be brief. So I think I'll put these up here. That gives me these 3 sections for my affirmation or quote for the day. Maybe I'll put that here. And then I think I would also like to just capture a memory or a bright spot. So I'll make myself a new note, and we'll just call this memory. And I will put this down here. That gives me a lot of space to not feel compressed, basically, when I'm writing things out. I do have a section that's left over, and I don't know how I feel about that yet. I might move some things around, but this is sort of what I guess I'm thinking for my daily at this point. And thankfully, I still have a little time left in the year to think it through a little bit more, to come back and look at it, see what I want to move. I also have sections for the monthly calendar that I haven't decided what I'm going to use that for. This page here, I've kind of decided this is just going to be where I write my notes, where I just scribble in things that I want to remember, to not forget. Not decorated, just sort of a place where I can brain dump when I need to. And then this one says special dates, and I like that. I think that works. I think this is where I'll put special dates, like birthdays and things like that. So I still have a little bit of work to do, especially for this section here and for the calendar spread, because I do want to use these. I have ideas, but I'm not sure. So this is where I'm landing so far for the daily. For weekly planning in 2026, I have this dashboard from Ink and Volt, and a couple of sections are in that no-brainer category, right? So I've got these little boxes across the top where you can put in the dates. This is definitely where I will put in appointments. Hair appointment, take it to the dog, the groomer, getting my tires changed, you know, whatever. And then down here, there's a tracker. So I did already go ahead and I made a list of the things that I think I want in my tracker, but I already renumbered them. So I don't know if you can see that. I had them in order, and then I went back and I renumbered them. I changed the order all before I put it officially into the paper. So I can play with that a little bit more. But just like the other page, I have ideas. I have things that I know that I want to put in here that I might move around. So for instance, I know that I want to put a business goal section for the week and a personal goal section for the week. And I can maybe put them like this or like this. I'm not sure, but we'll go ahead and set them down. I also want a place where everything that's due for Patreon can live, everything that's due for social media can live, all of the art that I'm working on needs a place. And then I've still got places left over. So this section here with the dots, I'll probably just use this for notes. But this one over here, I really just don't know yet. So we'll give it a little blank thing there. I think in looking at this, because all of these are business related except this one, I think I'll switch these now that I'm looking at it down on the page. So personal goals, maybe business goals here, and then kind of do a business wrap around this side. Social, and then art maybe down here. Maybe this could be a section for cleaning. I like that idea. We'll see. I feel like that might work. But part of me also thinks that these general business goals and these general personal goals need their own column. I don't know. But I can play around with it. Again, just like I said in the last one, I have time to figure it out and to change my mind. But this will give me a visual of what it could look like when I'm working in this weekly dashboard in 2026. This last one is my goal journal. So this is from Live Love Posh. It is a beautiful teal velvety feeling with this gold embossed floral pattern. It is a stunning, gorgeous dot journal. The only critique that I have, I wish the dots were a little bit lighter, but I will totally work with that because it is so beautiful. And there is a nice little pocket in the back. So I have been thinking about, you know, what do I want to put in the pocket, and what do, you know, to not have to write it over and over, and what do I want to put in the middle. So this one, if I haven't said it out loud already, this one's the tricky one. I have this little notepad. This is from Happy Planner. I got it on clearance at Joann's before Joann's closed up. And I basically have been writing just regular random ideas, things that are goals or projects or things that I know I'm not going to do right now, but I want to do or I need to do at some point. So I've just been trickling those into my planner. Fun fact, I am definitely a black ink girly, but if I know that the piece of paper is going to eventually be thrown away, I'll use blue. Weird, I know, but I know that you're my people, so you might get it. So after I've made, a bunch of brain dump lists, I started to pull over and make a little scratchy list of what do I think I want to do before the year end, and what do I think might be a good Q1 goal. And I'm trying not to get any further than that. So before year end, I would like to do a few things, like do a file cleanup on my computer, work on creating a new ideal daily schedule because the one I have isn't really, well, it's abandoned. So it's not working for me. Getting Monday.com, which is a tool that I use for managing all of my big projects, getting that set up, getting my Canva folders set up for 2026, getting Christmas ready for 2026. So at this point in the year, I have a few weeks left. I think what I'll end up doing when you open this up, I'll have some sort of pretty page with my name and a quote or maybe a word of the year if I decide I'm doing one. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. I'm actually leaning more towards a word of the quarter or something like that. I also do want to have my little motivational word of the day. Lots of words, lots of things going on. But I need to have a layout for the calendar. So let's go ahead and just start brainstorming this one. I'm just going to call this the pretty page. After that, I'll probably go into an annual calendar across these two pages. I thought I had 2 pages there. And then I'll probably do something like a spread for Q1, showing what the calendar looks like for the quarter and where the days fall just for this block of time. I'll leave 2 pages for that just in case. Then I think I'll make a big list of goals that I have for this particular time period. And then I think we'll get into giving each of the goals their own page. And as you can tell, I'm just really chicken scratching this. I'm ideating. I'm trying to figure out what layout is going to make sense. So once I do a page for each of the goals, then I think I'll have maybe somewhere a mid-month or mid-time period checkpoint. So a midway check, and then at the end, I'll want a final check. Still time to play with that. I also want to create in the back, I want to give myself a lot of space for this. So maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 pages. I want to move my list of randomness to the journal in the back so that I can have that to refer to whenever I'm looking for new goals to work on. And that would be instead of having yet another separate notebook where I scratch all these ideas in. So I'll make idea list. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for this. This one's going to be a much bigger setup because obviously there's no structure on the pages. You have to create the structure yourself. So we're going to give this one a little bit more time, and I'll play around with it in my mind before we get started. But hopefully this helps you kind of think of ways that you can brainstorm how you want to use your planners or your notepads going into any new time. For me, it's a new year, it's 2026, but it doesn't have to be. It could be any time that you feel like you want a change or you want to try something different. So hopefully you enjoyed taking a look at my pre-process. Next up will be the videos for each item and actually getting it set up with stickers and everything else for 2026. I hope you'll come back for that one. Take care.